they're looking for a whole lot more. Roy, that's a big one. Get Cypher out of the equation immediately. A dream. Has no response available as Roy just throws caution to the wind. He goes peppering through, spamming smokes, repositioning. And I think he might calm down for a moment. Crucial trying to find a way in. We know he's got those wall bangs in him. Looking for more is Roy. Thomas down in the dumps and more.
There we go.
That's what you were hoping to see.
And confidence there as well. We'll extinguish their molly, we'll take the fight, we'll stall them out and continue to repeak. So finally some of that individual brilliance from Fnatic being put on display here. Volt and Rallen will be looking for damage. There is money for a buy into the next, so even though it is a 2-on-5 situation, their job is not done. Such an aggressive push from Crims here means if they do return to the should be good for at least. Such an aggressive push from Crims here means if they do return to the should be good for at least the kill, but Nikodos as well. Not wanting to relent and not wanting to give up control of this ramp position, so maybe Fnatic are finding themselves here. Smoke a flash.
Oh, good shot.
Huh?
Good reactive util. Limits their options.
You get a HE on Rallen towards headshot, and that's a kill onto Roy.
That could work out nicely. You've got to get past Nikodos short. There's the nade. They need a whole lot more. Fasher next up. Get it down. That's nice. Okay, that's all they'll get. But it is extra funds. So the fun can continue for Into the Breach as Fnatic will wrap up a second.
He's still Cypher there as well. We're expecting flashes to come, so they've turned that molly has been extinguished. That has facilitated Roy to go for that fight for the opening. So you see he drops a flash, Cypher turning, that molly coming a little bit late, right? So Cypher, while he's trying to dodge the white screen, just goes down to Roy. Just goes down to Roy. A fantastic opener for him and Nikodos combine the Copenhagen Flames component of this Fnatic roster. Taking their money over towards ramp to get the second round for Fnatic now. Has to be a whole lot more of that. Consecutive rounds necessary.
Bit of a different look to this one. There's a lot of the similar utility is thrown out. And Cypher up and about. Good damage. He wants the dunk. Doesn't want to burn for it. Yeah.
Nikodos might get away now. Ooh, he's hanging around Sandbag. All right. Glutton for punishment there as he drops out the... So still really vying for this control. Cypher took 70 points of damage there as well, but still a lot of utility retained here for Into the Breach. A lot of this is about are we going or are we not, and this back and forth block utility means that Fnatic are only left with a couple of smokes and a couple of flashes to defend.
Yeah, will we, won't we? One of the ways you can get that smoke under the boards.
Yeah, well, Nikodos has been stubborn with peeking the ramp, and it looks like they are worried about that right now. So if they drop this and then clear, that's very telling to Fnatic what's on the other side. The jump spot doesn't see anything. Now they can come through. Treat that as their passage up. Fasher mid, Crims, Mezzy B. It is just Nikodos and Roy here, and they will get executed upon.
Util's good. Forces some uncomfortable angles, and you can see that Fnatic have called for the cavalry. Roy spotted over the smoke. Nikodos as well, down, over, good onto Fasher. He's got one. Limited Fnatic, they spam the smoke, and into the interrupt. They've got a frag each so far. Sandbags, a prime position to lock out this retake. No smoke, it would go a long way. Instead, Crucial allowed to hold the line. Spotted out, forced away. Time is of the essence for this retake. Jumping up into the scope, and Crucial knows where the last is. Nice try, good shot. Crims will have to turn tail. And we have 8. Ladies and gentlemen, Into the Breach take the W on their...
You asked the questions, right, about these teams coming from in the realm of just online Counter-Strike where they're playing hundreds of maps when these tier 1 teams, part of the partner programs, are playing 50 in the same type of time frame, even less. But they have all the moves, they have all the plays. Right? They can shoot. That's never been the question about Counter-Strike players on the come-up. It's about their understanding. And right now, Into the Breach are playing like a team. Their individuals are stepping up when accounted for. But the question is, the question is for Fnatic, how do you stop this? Woo! Oh, he's having fun now, yeah.
Hyping him up.
I'm sorry for talking over you there, Cypher. I wanted to hear all of that, mate.
Well, very, very sick. He's happy with what Crucial's been laying down.
Timeout number 3.
Happening.
Are they going to literally burn what would be 8 timeouts in the first halves of the last 2 maps?
Yeah, it might be. I mean, and that's credit
It's
to
the
the
most telling sign.
It is.
If the coach is sitting there timeout, because you need the rounds. You know that you need to get your team into these rounds, but it's just not happening. As Into the Breach, I like this. Off the back of the Fnatic chit chat, the conference with Keita, the Brain Trust, they made a choice. Fnatic knew how they were going to open this round. Nikodas has a good ramp swarm. Maybe they wanted to go aggressive. Juve right now on the mic, he's taking this extra 30 seconds. Hey boys, let's consider our next options. We can break them. We've got them right where we want them. They're on the ropes. We have all the momentum. We are running away with this. And the problem is, if this game gets close, that's where the nerves for Into the Breach are going to build. But if they can steamroll, if they can hold this momentum, it doesn't start to creep in because it's just going round after round after round. But as soon as there's resistance, that's where the mental will get tested.
Yeah, right now you're right. In terms of Into the Breach, you don't have to start overthinking it when you're just bulldozing.
Exactly. You don't even have to question the way you're approaching the map. One of the rounds you lost was just to pistols.
Right.
And then the gun round you lost, you win immediately back in. Juve making them at least consider what their next options are. This might be a genius timeout here as the B Surrey has it down.
Oh, getting away, and Thomas was going wide. He's dead. He's a different flavor all over the shot. Roy, Nate, exchange. It's Crims with a headshot. Thomas down early.
Yeah, it felt like he was to the rescue there, didn't it? Rallen was low, so he put his body on the line. Now, if they do want to return to A, Cypher has been doing a good job of communicating what's been going on. You see his mouth, motor mouth right here. Not loving those in-ears. Another little adjust before they do get underway. Yeah, the molly, it just flushes Nikodas further back. He knows he has to fight. He takes down Cypher, and the other 3 are going to ping-pong across the map, so the pendulum swings, and Fnatic looking good for their 3rd now. All the way back up towards middle here, I think.
Yeah, this one less than ideal.
Ah, I see what we're doing. We're starting to fortify for a save right here. Everybody locking down towards spawn. Crucial's up to cover off that A push, roll up towards middle, and I think Rallen will deal with B. So, Mezzy, you might go down here. You will get the information that the round has been secured. You're not going to be looking towards spawn. Here you go. Bang. Yeah, there you go. Confirmed.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I found them, boys.
yeah, I know exactly where they are.
I don't really fancy going into that, though.
It's interesting that Fnatic haven't started to go like all in towards A ramp, considering how difficult some of the rounds have been over there. They're still starting with the 2-1-2. It means that Mezzy and Crims can really send them away from that B lobby, which we saw in this round, and we've seen it in previous rounds. They're happy to have more exchanges. If you're the B defender solo, a lot of teams would traditionally run a 1-1-3. That's 3 players over towards A. One guy might set up those A players, then focus mid, and then one guy B, and that B player is often left in a lot of retake scenarios. Or if you do get lurk smoked out, flashed off, you have to drop back, you have to respect it. But by having 2 there, it means that you're more confident taking fights exactly like that. A great shot from Crims, and a solid one here from Nikodas as well to draw them a 2-man advantage in round 11. But round 12, so the timeout off the back of Fnatic's timeout did not profit for Into the Breach.
The usual shopping list off the rip. Cypher, he's got his flowchart set up, his flight path lined up. Crucial to provide the overwatch from that crane or onto that crane position.
Just to build on the conversation we were just having, they just started 3B. Mezzy pushed all the way down to the stairs, mollied out of position, a bit of a nade, and down to 50. So Rallen has communicated at least a heavy stance towards B.
Oh, Cypher, he could have trouble with Nikodas' re-aggression. Perfect for Cypher. He catches Roy. I would assume that he just Nikodas doesn't hit it. The duffel bag.
They can pause right now. No doubt. A lot of time on the clock. Smoke cover towards B will start to fade around like a push, but Nikodos, speaking of push, has taken back an awful lot of space here.
Good jump away. Doesn't want to concede any advantage after finding that gift. On to Roy.
They're pushing, they need info.
Understandable. Nate does nothing. On the break. Walks away, smokes are in, two. Bundles together. Shoulders. Baiting shots. Crims has got his Scorpa safe. And they have the advantage.
Rounds in B, they can drop back.
Oh,
Right now. Crucial that's
gonna be a
back
race.
position. They need to get this plant down.
Oh.
Crucial can kill them all.
Okay, hold on. He's keeping boots planted. The bomb, it's going to make it in time. Crucial, he just has to survive. They're looking for him. He's even ready for it. Nika is about to walk into the scope and another for Crucial. This is something special as a ninth comes through. Crim still, oh, the AWP and Mezzy, yeah, you found the bomb. You got to get through these two. Considering the turn, traded by Volt and sent 52 floors down as the 9th round comes through into the breach. They are leaving their mark on Vertigo.
That is a sick round right there, and you see what it's done to Crims. This is the most experienced member in the server right now. Two-time major champ, first major, last major, right now up against the ropes against the British. I didn't think he'd be feeling the wrath of this today, but this is miraculous Counter-Strike here. You love to see it. The final timeout forced. All four again in the first half of play. And I said Crucial can kill them all. Well, he almost did. Just getting to play around the power position on A while the bomb's planted on B. An AWP's dream. Take those fights. It doesn't even matter. And they are in the dumps, putting them in the bin. And they are getting fired up now. So close to achieving Counter-Strike history.
Yeah, and that's not hyperbole. This is never before seen.
I'm gonna go back to the glory days. Like honestly, you go back to 1.6. You had like the Dignitas guys, right? No, 4 Kings. Sorry, like let me get that like the order corrected. But the 4 Kings, early days of UK Counter Strike, had like the Magic Capras and stuff, and then you move into Source. That's where UK was actually a contender. They won a championship gaming series, right? Your Rattlesnakes, your Pete's, like these are the guys. But this is back in my day. This is back in 2008, 2009. We're talking over a decade ago.
Yeah, and for a longest time, UKCS was just seen as like hobbyists.
Just guys arguing at a LAN where you guys go to get drunk. Like, you know, it wasn't taken seriously because it felt like the players didn't. But it feels like now finally a core who have got their act together. They're young. They're hungry.
They've pulled up their socks in a very big way and now blowing Fanatics off. Oh, if Roy does that one more time, the pre-aims are good. And he loses his head. Not another one. Nikodos in trouble. He's got too much to handle. A double out of Cypher and 10 imminent.
These guys are cooked right now. This is...
How many timeouts have they got?
Fnatic.
They still 4?
They got none.
Oh dear.
Fnatic got nothing.
Oh my.
They are stumped. Mezzy might want to defect.
Yeah, right. He's going to be hitting him up in the DMs. Yo, boys, room for a 6th.
This is just, there's a spanking right now. This is an absolute hiding. These two back-to-back maps. Don't even look at the second half of Overpass. It doesn't matter. It was a 14-1 first half of Overpass. Fanatics peaked. They did the hard work on Inferno. That's a map that they've been struggling on. A map that they took G2 to overtime on yesterday. Couldn't get across the line. Into the breach. They pick in as Mezzy. Doing his best right now to hold on to this rifle. Everything they can get here. He does well
enough to maintain. He's earned the honor of keeping hold of his rifle, but I mean, that's bittersweet. Yeah, congratulations. You get the M4 into the next. Your teammates are operating at about 3K. And your opponents have got, well, oodles of cash to spare. And a 10th round on the board. What a great sequence into the A site here. Ready for the boost, ready for it all. Cypher is in the zone right now.
This is the thing, right now, they're not awake. Into the Breach is just playing. This is the flow zone, right? They've entered this as a team. They are riding this emotion, this adrenaline, and full Crimson.
One. He's another.
Big trade.
He's ready.
Riding this emotion, this adrenaline, and full Crimson.
One. He's another.
Big trade.
He's ready. And there's more. More in the feed. Nikodos down. It's up to Roy. And there's a great shot. Maybe he can get a rifle. Maybe there's something to be said about this one, but Thomas doesn't seem to think so through the smoke. A big round. In the grand scheme of things, as Fnatic, they crumble once more.
is Tier 1 Counter-Strike on LAN, I think Into the Breach are thinking, this is too easy.
Right?
Sign us up for this every day of the week. They also beat FaZe in a best of one. They beat ENCE on
Right.
this very map.
Right.
These are big names in World Counter-Strike.
Like if their path to the top 8 is FaZe, ENCE, and Fnatic,
You can't question that.
I challenge you to question that. In this best of 3, all 3 maps, and Fash is dead again. 11, as Juve has to contain himself, has to be realistic that this is not done. The battle is not won, but what you have right now is trending in that direction.
This halftime break is going to be a real telling moment because they need to keep focused for about 2 minutes.
Right.
Right? And that's where the brain will start to wander, especially with a scoreline like this.
You're right.
Even if you're playing a pug and you're winning the half of Vertigo 12, you feel you've won it.
Yeah.
Right? These are professional Counter-Strike teams. I know that Vertigo can have some variance to lean T-side, but not what could be a 12-3 scoreline. Fnatic have to salvage something here. They've got the guns out to do so. Stall outside, but you can't keep having this space on ramp. A statement needs to be made, and they've changed things up. Fasha here to help them fight.
Good catch. Fasha does deliver, and it's Roy as well. That's the ramp shutdown you need. Fnatic's rounds have come when this is how the rounds begin, but Crucial, he's the one to step up in the aggressive
Nobody's
play.
looking.
That's ridiculous. He's gotten away with murder. In cold blood, Crucial pulls him right back into the 3-on-3.
They finally started 3A fighting a little bit more, right? Fasha was there with the rifle to be in the mix. He gets that opener. And nobody's ready for the
They've
short
got
walk up.
so many nades. So many nades, surely. I mean,
This is 100% just go and execute.
Right.
You have exactly what you pointed out. If you have this much utility and this much time in the round, all you do is go A, execute. Left, right smokes, molly headshot, right? And then you're in. All you need to do is clear out close short. And because they have a molly on everybody, they can molly close short. Whack the one off the beam, flushes a player out, gives him a choice, fight or flight. Smoke left, right, headshot, bang, you're in. Perfect right now. The util is bang on. Those are the 2 key positions you have to clear.
Oh.
Now here comes the smokes. The headshot molly for Volt available here as well.
double nade.
Don't
bang!
worry about the molly.
God, it's perfect! You got one nade, sure. It was not the bomb plant. No, it wasn't. Tell a lie. It was someone else. Bolt down. And can Mezzi give something for Fnatic to work with? A 4th would go a long way in the grand scheme, as this is the only map Fnatic have to battle for the playoffs. And after 2 rounds to both, Mezzi in the clutch, a 1-on-1. He's holding it. Crucial, the AWP. He needs to... Oh! He does it in time! 12 into the breach, looking to make Britain proud, as they just need a strong start in the next half of play. It's the last day of the Legends stage, Cutthroat Counter-Strike, and Into the Breach seem unfazed. Fnatic, the pedigree this organization boasts, and yet it's Into the Breach that come into this final half of play with their heads held high. 0.4 seconds on that defuse, and they deny the fourth. You can see what it means to them. They are within touching distance. They can almost feel it. They can almost have it. It's so close, just out of reach. Fnatic, they have to play perfect from here on out, and Into the Breach, they have to hold on, keep their heads cool, because the mentality and flow state they brought through that first half has got them this far. A pistol would be huge. If they could really seal the deal with something as trivial as a pistol round. They've played thousands of them, but this one...
There you go, they're all heroes. Thomas has a flash.
Oh, got it. Who's flying the headshot? He has to move now.
Thomas flash. He's going to take the flash. He's like high down foot.
Rollins just walks on that molly. It's a nice off-angle with the flash. So much damage! Has he done enough? It seems it may be so. With only 35 HP, Nikodos has to be perfect. Fnatic watching through their fingers as their spot in the playoffs slips through it. All four of the players dead silent, hoping, praying, finding any deity they could possibly wish upon a star that they can take this round and start off the comeback for those playoffs. Oh! And this Nikodos that injects some hope as he gets away from the first shot. Volt, he has them held. Nikodos has the aim. It's 40 seconds, this battle of brains. Can Volt launch Into the Breach into a quick close? He is positioned, takes the fight, and Nikodos falls into the breach. One step closer.
The energy they're going to feel right now, from Fnatic rise into Fnatic fall and all the way out. That pistol round, the stat I quoted at the start of this, for both these teams with their pistols, 100% conversion in the second. Now for Fnatic, that has faltered in this game, and look, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it has held true for Into the Breach. I don't think they've lost the second round after their pistols so far in this series. If they can do it again right here, and Fnatic are going to give it to them. Fnatic are going to give it to them. Don't worry about that round. This is 14 secure.
Wow.
14 is all but secure here. It's a Deagle and 4 Gox. They're just 2 rounds away. Like, I'm calling this one early, but what are you meant to do with Fnatic? This is Vertigo. This, you know, this isn't like a Mirage or Inferno where maybe you get some control and you spill out, you grab a rifle. This is a map where, you know, you're going to need some util to get some ground, and they're just going to have to sit and wait and pause. And the anticipation right now, like, I don't think anybody knows what it feels like, right? There's only few players, the players to make it this far, but to just know how close you are.
Yeah.
Keep that focus. I'm a loss for words here. This has been some proper Counter-Strike, and that's the thing, which is that I think the best thing to be said about Into the Breach. It's been proper CS. They should be proud of the way that they have functioned in the server here today.
Yeah, it feels like they've all been waiting to find one another in this ride to the playoffs. Crucial. Active as a player since 2013. The very start.
He's been having a crack for many years.
First major, and look at him, 17-6. He's flying so high now as he simultaneously breaks Fnatic's hopes and dreams. There's nothing left for them here. They're going to have a gunny. They're going to have to play it perfect. They held on to this crazy lead. They managed to manufacture over on overpass, but will they get into their heads here? It seems like Fnatic already inside theirs.
It's just the momentum story of Into the Breach. It hasn't stopped, it hasn't stalled. The question, what would happen in that break? Will they come out and Volt wins that 1v2 turn 1-on-1 against Nikodos? And now Fnatic, sure, it does feel like a last-ditch attempt here. This is the team that won the first ever CSGO Major. No, let's take that back. This is the Hawks that won the first ever CSGO Major all those years ago. DreamHack wins in 2013.
Oh, there you go. Roy, a very nice scout to take. Crucial, a couple of pot shots as evasive maneuvers are adopted.
Gamble. Look on the radar right now. See all that purple starting to come? This is just a gamble.
Whoa, Thomas, he got away with that.
They might want to keep fighting if you're going to call this stack.
Flash is investigating B. Nikodos advancing up the A side as well, spotted out. Nikos trying to sell this. Left short. This is nice. Cypher and Thomas considering B as a potential.
Fasher still doesn't have any real space on B. He's only just in the lobby right now, which is good control. But that gamble they had, they thought more of a push was going to come from Fnatic here.
Yeah, it's suspicious now. It's got a bit quiet.
This one gets weird.
Decisions to be made. Utility exchange.
It will be A. Starting to gravitate back now.
Nikodos, you should have this
He's
frag.
not clearing sandbag. Oh, it's a sandbag.
If Ryan has a look. He doesn't. Hiding behind the sandbags. So much potential. Block it out. He'll activate. One. Keep himself alive only for a moment as Mezzy will relieve him of his life. Awkward for Thomas and Cypher. You got a kid on Cypher, sure, but 3 versus 1 has been. Yeah, Thomas does go down, and now 1v3 goes 1v2 goes 1-on-1. UK versus UK, and it's Mezzy that holds on, denies Cypher from what would have been euphoric, and instead says, let's go, play on.
Damn, if Thomas had got his nade right there, it would have landed directly on Mezzy and he would have been half HP. The nade didn't quite land because Thomas was trying to line it up through a smoke. It's the tiniest of details right here, but Roy, that's a great shot onto Volt. Drawn one back, and then they finish towards the side. This was the attempt from Cypher here, but Mezzy stands strong, and he's been doing a decent job for Fnatic throughout. A really close round, and you can see the team knows how close they were.
No slip-ups from here on out.
Roy, half HP just from flak damage alone.
Fasher the same over on B. Solid start, Cypher chunked.
Can he by this boost here? Thomas at the top.
Beautiful double, make it 3. Roy lost the duel as well. Fnatic just evaporate the drop of a hat.
It's hard.
3 frags in the bag. I don't see a way back
No,
in.
it's really hard, especially if there was no push from Cypher. Him considering, you saw him starting to make his way out on that catwalk. It could have been a fight for Fasher. Volt's rotated over now. And Alex, we're still at the early stage of this game. This is only round number 4, and if this goes 15 in their favor, next round's only 1900 loss bonus for Fnatic. They are screwed. They're not going to. They didn't leave themselves room for error. No margin to make a mistake. 15 now secure for Into the Breach. Just one more round away, and they have every advantage under the sun in the Counter-Strike book. It's Tech-9s, it's Deagles, it's Armor. There's a little bit of util. There's nothing in the mix, and this tower, this Titan, topples them.
You have to give more and more props to the Into the Breach CT setup. It's always something Fnatic getting caught off by on overpass, on vertigo, morale at an all-time high, and it could get higher if they can just post this one here. Fnatic battered, bruised, bleeding out, hemorrhaging rounds, and Into the Breach just need one more.
Oh, Rallen wants to fight. He wants to finish this right here, right now.
Thinks better of it continuing.
It's just so hard to see how Fnatic win this round without errors from Into the Breach. You're working with 3 smokes, 2 flashes, a molly. A scout is the biggest weapon you have. Some hand cannons, some bullets that need to land on Fnatic.
Scouting play.
They won't make back-to-back playoffs. In Rio, they made that top 8. We touched on that. They took on outsiders in the opening round of the quarterfinals, eliminated by the eventual champ. Sure, you can shrug that one off. You did some heavy lifting. You took down G2 yesterday. As far as head-to-heads from Orgs go, you don't get a juicier battle than that. But right now, Into the Breach, one of the biggest underdogs coming into this event, straight through the legend stage from the RMRs. And that has to be the final blow. That has to be the final blow. This flank
is everything. Rallen, he's been flanking up a storm throughout the legend stage, and this one can take him to the champions. Into the Breach. Just need a couple more frags. Crucial. Crucial indeed. He has to be a component of this if they want it here and now. The bomb has gone down. Fnatic looking to reposition for the post plant. Talking it through. Thomas, the leader of men, opts for a fresh magazine to try and finish it right here and now. And it's a missed shot. He's trying everything. It's 1 frag in it. So much damage. Crucial should be a dead man. Smoke could come down. Oh, Yes, he's done it! Crucial! Magnificent in the finish! Has he got it?
Oh, he's got it. Don't you worry about that.
God, you got me scared, son.
This is reality, no longer a dream. The celebration into the breach have done what no UK team has done before. History has been made today.
Our communication.
And it hurts because it's a major, right? It's so tough.
At least trying the right things. It's not working out, and I think just props to them. I think they obviously played a good game, and overall they obviously outplayed us, and we're just obviously disappointed in ourselves that we just couldn't perform as we did yesterday and on the first day at least. So.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to quickly try to grab Crims as well. Sad to see you go as always. Now, Crims, thank you for waiting for me, mate. Yes. You are a legend of the game. You've done 16 out of 19 majors. You've had an era. You've lifted 2 major trophies. What has your CSGO journey been like? What does it feel like?
Just super happy that I've been able to be part of this game. I had the fortune to be pretty lucky, I would say. Not many players made it and have an own era, right? So yeah. I'm super humble and happy that I've managed to do what I did. So yeah.
And people talk about longevity for players, right, that have been like Dupree, for example, but you've done it as well, and you've stayed here. We've seen good results come out from you. You must be proud of the overall. If we're talking about the whole career, you must feel pretty proud. Yeah, for sure. I'm a bit out of words, sorry. But yeah, I'm just super proud of myself, of all the teammates that I've been playing with, and through up and downs. I mean, I managed to win some, and yeah, good memories. Will we see you for CS2? Yes. Yes, there we go. Thank you very much, Crims.
Fnatic, we say goodbye to them, and of course to Crims, a legend. He may not be in the arena, but I think anyone who's watching who's a CSGO fan can agree that he will go down in the history books, as will that lineup. It'll also be noted in those history books that they lost to Into the Breach at the last ever CSGO major. Thomas is with us now, and I have to ask Thomas, I have some spies running around, and they told me that after that first map when you lost, there was a rousing speech that happened, but no one could quite hear the words. So I want to know, what exactly did you say to the other players?
You know, the boys were down, you know, just pumped them up a lot, told them that, you know, we're here. You know, we have to play with everything we have. You know, our hearts. You know, it was quite scary, to be honest, you know, witnessing, you know, the downfall almost. So, I just gave every last bit of energy I had to motivate my boys, because, you know, they can play great, but if they're not mentally there, we're not going to win. So yeah.
You should charge people, because I'm told that they were very depressed, and when they walked out of that room, it was like a different team. So maybe consider when you
We're
retire.
ready for war.
You're ready for war.
Can you tell us about this matchup in particular? When you saw you had Fnatic against you in the server, you're saying something off camera a little bit, that it was kind of like with friends essentially, or what?
Yeah, like, so, you know, some of the guys from Fnatic and us, we've played with each other. You know, it's not like a grudge match, but it's just playing with friends, playing against friends. And when momentum starts, anything can happen, right? And especially when you're like, I can't be losing to this guy. You know, these guys are definitely like, Jesus, we're going to lose to a UK team. Like, I think a lot of teams here have been thinking about that. But yeah, UK CS might be back. God save the king so far.
Yeah, you've been doing fantastic. We also spoke about it off camera, Thomas, the fact that your route into the playoff haven't been easy. You beat Outsiders or VP in the qualifier getting here. You almost dismantled them in a way that make them make a roster change mid-tournament, so credit for that one. And you haven't had an easy route. You beat ENCE, you beat FaZe, now you beat Fnatic in a best of 3. You're very humble about it, but don't you think you're getting to a point now where we can actually expect more from you guys? You're top 8 at the last major ever, and you're playing well.
I think every team here is unbelievable. I think people underestimate the tier 2 teams, but, you know, I still view us as a massive underdog. We're just going to try our best, you know, like playing the arena now. Whoever we get, we're going to try.
Necessarily a hardcore CS player, but like the puzzle maker, if you like.
Who?
Your coach.
The coach.
Oh,
Juve.
Juve. Yeah, Juve does an absolutely great job. He does all the anti-strat, the analysis before, for our pre-games. And I think the game plans that we have been able to utilize here is a big reason why we've succeeded. And, you know, we utilize our rounds. Yes, it may look like sometimes strat roulette, but you can't play tier 1 CS when you haven't sometimes got the tier 1 players. So you've got to change it up. And I think that's the reason why a lot of tier 1 teams are getting like very thrown around. And it's crazy, yes, but at the same time, you have to change. You can't play their CS because you're just going to lose. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Makes sense.
Final question. The dream is alive. You're going to the arena. Which team are you the most excited to play against?
Who's in it? Oh, FaZe, yeah. FaZe. Yeah, FaZe. Nah, I just watched their amazing comeback. Nah, that was insane. That really pumped all of us guys up.
There we go. We're putting the teams up for you. Thomas, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Wait. One more. Just for all the Brits out there, though, is it coming home?
It's fucking coming home.
There we go.
Yes.
Oh, we had to get that one.
Thank you.
I mean, it's really, the thing is, right from the beginning, I do think as a desk we've been a little bit tough on them. We've constantly kind of gone, oh, well, Into the Breach, they've had a good run until now. And then they've won until now. At the beginning of this game, we went, oh, well, it's been a good run for them until now. But they have proven that actually they have now beaten enough teams, I think, in the major for us to say, you know what, they earned that spot.
I absolutely love what Thomas is saying. We cannot play Tier 1 Counter-Strike because then we just lose.
Yes.
He's well aware of the situation. He's playing and utilizing the tools that he has in the toolbox, and he's making the absolute most out of it. We're not asking Into the Breach to play Tier 1 Counter-Strike. We're asking them to play good enough Counter-Strike to qualify for a playoff, and they have done. Some of these wins you see on the screen right here, beating FaZe on Inferno, beating ENCE on Vertigo, beating Fnatic in a best of 3. That's not easy for a team that has only been together, or as he said, 3 goddamn months. That is hella impressive. I'm not even sure that's ever happened in major history, that anyone who's only been a team for 3 months made it all the way to the playoff. I think that in itself is exceptionally well played by Thomas and by the rest of the squad.
I similarly echo the facts and sentiments that when you don't have necessarily Tier 1 players, you got to just play your own style. That's incredibly pragmatic. It's really impressive to see just the way that Into the Breach approach every game. And I think I may have characterized it before, kind of strat roulette-y, but yes, the way that he knows that on certain rounds you're going to call this kind of play. If you have this kind of econ, you're going for this kind of play. I am so glad that Tier 2 teams are showing that it's not just kind of flukes. There's a reason, there's a method behind what we're considering madness, and that is what is propelling them to get so deep into this tournament.
I have a British passport, so obviously I knew this was always going to happen. And the Brits are going to be insufferable right now. So, as you
so
can
are
see,
you.
There we go. That's exact, because I'm British. Let's take a look at the teams now that are making it through to the playoffs. Vitality, Heroic, Team Liquid, FaZe, and then the names we weren't expecting. Monty, Into the Breach, Gamer Legion, and there's one more spot up for grabs.
There's one more spot up for grabs, and that's also going to be a very interesting match. Apex taking on NIP, of course, we're going to get to that game soon, but we also do have a lot of teams that hasn't made it. We have the eliminated teams coming into it as well, and you know, there's a couple of big names here on the screen as well. The fact that G2 is not making it, the fact that Na'Vi is not making it, Nine is not there, Furia, Fnatic, all these teams, they were supposed to be at least contending for the playoff. It
feels just so crazy. It feels so topsy-turvy, so upside down, so many expectations subverted, but I'm happy that these teams that made it are playing as well as they are. If they were just kind of stumbling into some of these games, if the way that Fnatic was playing in that half on Vertigo, if somehow that made it to the playoffs, in some ways I'd be like, really? That's what we're getting? But I'm glad that Into the Breach took the fight to FaZe. They took the fight to ENCE. They brought it to Fnatic, and really, they just deserve it so much. Like, Thomas is playing such a crazy style of CS, and it's working for them. And I'm glad that we're having some variety in the teams that are making it to the playoffs.
Let's take a look at the schedule. There is one more game, like we mentioned, and it is going to be NIP up against Apex. I love the fact that we have some big names in the playoffs, and then we have some unknowns. It's actually a really nice equal split, which means it's going to be really interesting. The history of CSGO is going to be written in the A-Core arena. We are going to be taking a quick break, and when we return, we will find out the final team making it to playoffs.
I'll go for a young player again. I'll try for an American guy again. Let's go for Breeze.
Guess the Mr. CS player again. Hunter.
Come on, Leash.